Okay, people. So it has finally arrived. I'm talking about the big budget Netflix flick. Boom. Don't Look Up. Right? Yeah, it is directed by Adam McKay, who also wrote the screenplay from a story he devised with David Ciorta. McKay also produces with Kevin Mezek. Um, we have Linus Sandgren on cinematography. Hank Corwin edited the film. Nicholas Brittle handled the music. And this has a fat ass cast, people. Jeez. It is kind of crazy. So we've got Leonardo DiCaprio as Dr. Randall Mindy. We have got Melanie Linsky as his wife, June Mindy. We've got Robert Radokuchi as Evan Mindy, one of their sons. And Connor Sweeney plays her other son, Marshall Mindy. We also have Jennifer Lawrence as Kate Debesky, right? She works with Randall. Then there is, let's go with, ooh, all right, yeah. We'll say Tyler Perry is Jack Bremer, and Kate Blanchett is Brie Eventy, and they host a morning TV show. Then there's Meryl Streep as President Janie Orlean. Her son is played by Jonah Hill, right? Jason Orlean. And he's the chief of staff. No nepotism up in there. We've got Himish Patel plays Philip, and he's dating old Kate Debisky. We've got Rob Morgan as Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe. He's a top scientist who works with Randall and Kate. Right. We've got Ron Perlman is a Benedict Drashk. He's an army commander. Michael Chiklis, he plays Dan Porchetti. Thomas Sisley plays Adol Grillo. Paul Gifarolo plays General Thames. Robert Joy plays Congressman Tennant. We've got Ross Patridge plays Keith Orleans. Oh, Keith Olens, even. There's Chris Evans plays Devon Peters. Timothy Chalamet plays Yule. Mark Rylance plays Peter Ishawell. Yeah, I think that's the main cast there, people. And the gist of the story is this: Kate Debisky, an astronomy grad student, and her professor, Dr. Randall Mindy, make an astounding discovery of a comet orbiting within the solar system. The problem, it's on a direct collision course with Earth. The other problem, no one really seems to care. Turns out warning mankind about a planet killer the size of Mount Everest is an inconvenient fact to navigate. With the help of Dr. Oglethorpe, Kate and Randall embark on a media tour that takes them from the office of an indifferent President Orleans and her sociopathic son and chief of staff Jason to the airways of the Daily Rip, an upbeat morning show hosted by Bree and Jack. With only 6 months until the comet makes impact, managing the 24-hour news cycle and gaining the attention of the social media obsessed public before it's too late proves shockingly comical. What will it take to get the world to just look up? Dum, dum, dum. That is the question, people. So, yeah, the big thing is, right? So this was meant to be a Paramount film, right? Because Adam McKay's hyper object industries, they've got a first look deal with Paramount for the films that come out of that production house. But because of the pandemic and everything like that, right? And something Paramount has been doing, they sold it to Netflix. Sold it to Netflix early last year. And also, when you think of the cast, right? So this probably was not a cheap film. Not a cheap film. So yeah, they I wanted to shift that cost. So I went to Netflix. And hey, it's a funny thing because when you look at what people are saying about the film, there's a lot of people being a little sniffy about it. But I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this film. Now, I will definitely say, it is a little long, right? It's just over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes to be precise. So it is a little long, but it's very interesting, right? So we kind of start off and we have this we got Kate humming her way to Wu-Tang, which is like, okay, all right, you got my attention. She did avoid some of those big words, you know what I mean? So they kept it PC, you know what I mean? They kept it correct. Uh, but we then have her make this discovery, right? We have her make this discovery. And so, she's excited. She tells her peoples, right? A boyfriend, um, then takes it to a professor. And so everyone gathers and they're breaking it down. But then the realization hits. You know what I mean? That realization that, oh, this might, but they're the only two that figure it out. So straight away, you know what I mean? We see them try and escalate, right? We see them try and escalate this news. So they take it to a top scientist at NASA, right? So that would be Teddy Oglethorpe, Rob Morgan's character. And then they go to the president. But the president's got some issues, right? And I will, this is the thing about this film, I feel if this film had come out like 5 years ago, yeah, I even say that, 10 definitely, people would look at this and be like, oh, come on. This is too preposterous. Preposterous. No, it's not it's too ridiculous, right? It's too ridiculous. Like, yeah, no, it wouldn't go like that. Come on, right? That shit ain't gonna happen. You would only see that on a motherfucking daytime soap, right? This is some sunset beach kind of shit. But what we have seen in the news and just the way decisions get made and everything like that. Yeah, you're believing this, right? You think this is exactly how this will go, right? And not trying to get too crazy, but you know, when you think about how like the pandemic's been handled and everything like that, while one person was in power who people didn't like, and it's like, oh, we can't do that. Then when that changes, oh, we're going to do all those same things, but now you can't question them. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. However, listen, it doesn't matter, right? Who you vote for and all of that. But there's facts and facts, right? This shit happened. You know what I mean? Like when you look at oh gosh, I believe it was the terrorist situation in Munich. Remember, it was back in the gosh, was that the 60s, 70s? This is when Reagan was in power. That's probably no, that wasn't the 60s. Reagan wasn't in power in the 60s. Reagan Reagan was the 80s, right? Yeah, I feel some and maybe all right, maybe it is then. I don't know. I lose track, people. I lose track. But so when they because it was just before Reagan took over, right? So they were trying to negotiate the hostages release. Now here's the thing. They could have got the hostages released earlier, but Reagan wasn't in power then. So they waited until he was in power. So it was a big thing for, first, one of the first things he does, he freed the hostages. Yay! You know what I mean? It was like, and so we can look at this, right? We can look at history and see how decisions get held up and manipulated to fit a narrative, to fit in with a news cycle, to work for whoever the fuck is in power. So we're watching this film and we're seeing all of this stuff go down, right? And you're like, yeah, no, that definitely could happen. Like we've seen similar shit. We've seen similar shit. So yeah, you're watching this film and just the beats of it, man, it rings so true, and you're just like, oh shit, okay, and it's amusing as fuck, right? Just watching all of this go down, and also we're seeing how power can corrupt people. We have characters and we think, no, they're a decent person, right? And then we see how power corrupts them a little bit, right? And you're just like, oh, son, I thought you were better than that. I thought you were better, which is great. Which is great. Because here's the other big thing about this film, right? I'm watching it and I'm like, Kate, who the fuck is Kate? Now, I feel I recognize her, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the fuck. Who is this chick? And it took a long time for me to then be like, ding, 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 motherfucker. It's Jennifer Lawrence, right? It's Jennifer Lawrence. And there's a lot of the characters like Timothy Chalamet. Again, I'm watching going, it rings a bell. Hey, that rings a bell. Who is it? It's not Dave Franco. No, it's not Dave Franco, right? And it's not the other one who's got a sister who acts. He was in the Guilty, Donnie Darko, that mother, Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Yes. And I'm like, it's not Jake Gyllenhaal. Who the fuck is this? And again, took me a little while to go, it's Paul motherfucking Atreides, son. That's who it's Paul motherfucking Atreides, right? And the same with the cap. Now, obviously, I even this blind motherfucker knew that's Leonardo DiCaprio, but here's a great thing. He's not playing it like Leonardo DiCaprio. And what I'm trying to say here, people, it's not just I'm an idiot and I can't recognize people. I mean, I can't recognize people. That's a big thing. But no, these motherfuckers, we saw some great acting because I feel that I mean, there's sometimes people are in films and you're like, they're kind of playing that same character they were in that other film, or that's the kind of shtick that we get from blah 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 blah. But no, everyone just inhabited these characters. You really believed these characters. Like again, you know what I mean? Kate Blanchett as Brie. I'm looking at this chick and I'm like, yo, who the fuck that be? Who is that? Like with Tyler Perry, they inhabited these characters. Mark Rylance. Yeah, it took a while to be like, yo, who the fuck this be, right? And that was great because it's always good when someone imbues themselves into a character to create something new, and we're not just getting this tired, regurgitated, you know, presence, which, come on, man. Look, we know plenty of actors and actresses that do that thing. You know what I mean? But no, we got these fresh takes. And so this is what I mean, right? So we're watching a film and you're like, yo, son, I thought you were, how are you doing this thing? Come on. And yeah, you believed in these things, you believed in it. And yeah, I just enjoyed that aspect of it, right? Oh, also, yeah, I forgot. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, is that how you say it? Right, she plays Riley Binner. Now she plays a singer, but it still works, right? And we've got Kid Cudi, Scott Muscudi as DJ Cello, and that's it's again, it's real, right? It really does kind of mirror real events because you're just like this whole situation with them. You're like, how the fuck is that overshadowing? Like, what's going on here? But yeah, you kind of buy it. You do buy this situation. It's insane. The things Philip does. Philip's a cunt. But you buy it, right? You really buy it. And also the way, like the whole bash, right? The whole bash thing. It really kind of leans into I feel it kind of leads into an Amazon situation, right? Um good damn it, my mind is blank. I can't think of the motherfucker that runs Amazon. Right? But I feel that, yeah, Rylance's character kind of plays on him, kind of plays on him. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I mean, when you have all of these elements, and I feel you can see the connections to the real world and real world incidents, and just patterns, right? Patterns. Like remember last year with a lot of the rioting and shit like that. And I'm not talking, well, I'm talking about, the protests, but how the protests became fucking insane riots, right? That made not a lot of sense. You'd be like, all right, we're protesting against police brutality. So why motherfuckers breaking into Best Buy and you know what I mean supermarkets and shit like and just stealing shit, right? That makes no sense. So we're seeing these parallels in this film, and yeah, so I think that brings it even more to life for you. It kind of strikes that chord where you're in it. I mean, you're in it. Like, listen, the cinematography is good. I mean, I enjoyed the direction and the way it's kind of, it was edited, a lot of different scenes and the way the story was being told to us. Yeah, that worked. That worked. I enjoyed it. Right? As I said, look, the acting killed it. Now, yeah, it was a little long, right? I think it could have maybe be edited down a little bit, but it still does. You know, what I mean, it wasn't long in the sense where I was just like, oh, I'm tapping out, I'm tapping out. No, I was still watching it. I was still engaged, but I just thought maybe you could have trimmed it a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, this film it is now on the Netflix, and yeah, I do think it was a good film, right? So you listen, if you saw, some dumb reviewer, right, like going rah, 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 rah. Yo, it's on Netflix, man. You can make up your own mind, right? Because yeah, I think there's a lot in here that people can enjoy. And as I said, if you watch it through the gaze of just current events, right? Not even, just don't even have to think about the Reagan shit and other shit. But if you just even look through it with those, what I mean, tinted glasses. No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be tinted glasses, would it? No, because we're seeing the parallels, motherfuckers. That's what we're doing. Now, if you do that, I think it will talk to you even more, and yeah, you will enjoy it. So, people, don't look down, look up, right? Look up, motherfuckers. See what they're cooking. All right, don't look up. It's on Netflix. Go enjoy, people. Go enjoy.